going to continue on here with this. Let's jump back into a fresh Rhino file. I'm going to delete this one that I just created. And you will notice that I sort of have a lot of my Maxwell stuff up. I'm probably going to leave the panels on my toolbar and not worry about it. But I will turn off this heads-up display because that's going to be really annoying. And if you recall, that's this toggle button right there to turn off those settings in the perspective view. All right, so some of you guys have been asking a question about how project works, right? This is going to be sort of a way for you to start to introduce using project as a way of controlling the geometry. So I'm just going to create a simple tubular structure, sort of kind of similar to, let me see, tubular architecture didn't work for it, but anyway, I'm going to create a simple tubular structure that just steps up in elevation. Then I'm going to show you some of the features that Rhino has to actually blend and smooth certain surfaces. Okay, so let's start with the actual, basically just a profile. Okay, so we're going to create a rectangle, but for me, since it's actually architecture, I want to create it in the proper plane, obviously, the front view. So this front view is where I'm going to start. And all I'm going to do is just create a rectangle, just like this, and set it to 0, 0. And then I guess I'll make it something like 40 feet wide by 25 feet tall. So that's 40 feet, 25 feet. So what am I doing with this, right? I said I'm creating these tubular structures, and all I'm going to do is just step it up once and then carry it off to the side. But first I got to make that first leg, right? So all I'm going to do with this, with the gumball, is just use that to create an extrusion. So if I hit the Alt button and then click, and hold it, guys, hold it, and then click on the green arrow, I could create a duplicate and then loft the two together. But if the distance is not necessarily critical, if I'm being very, if I want it to be sculptural but also be controlled, I can just Alt click and then hold Shift and drag it, and it actually creates an extrusion instead. Yeah, it's weird. I thought there was a different hotkey for it. I thought there was a way you could just hit them both and then click the button to make it go, and it would extrude it. But for some reason, it wasn't working for me the other day. I tend to get mixed up with these after time, but you have to hit Alt, then click on the axis and hold it, and then hit Shift, and then drag it. It's weird. I'll go back and do it again. So you select that, Alt button, hold it. Click it, hold it. Oh, I said Shift. It's actually Control. My mistake. Yeah. I had to look down on that one. Sorry. I would be a really bad piano player. So anyway, hold or hit and hold Control, and then just drag it back, and it'll extrude. Yeah. If I do that again, guys, just shout it out and correct me, because long day. Okay. Any questions on that so far? All right, so here's the cool part, or at least what I think is the cool part. I can simply grab this curve, copy it to the back side of this thing, and then just have at it and go for more. In fact, well, yeah, no, I'll just copy it. There are a few ways you could do this. You don't technically have to copy it, but simply put, I'll just copy this, put it on the back. And then I have this back one that I can work with. Well, see this right-hand view? If I want to create my extrusion going the opposite direction, going upwards, I can do that here in this view by typing in the rotate command. Instead of using the gumball, type in the rotate command, and this will allow you to set a different center of rotation than the center of the object that the gumball defaults to. Does that make sense? So I click on the top end here, And because I'm operating in the right view, it's going to default to the orientation of the right view, which is nice. If I switched over to the front view, it would change orientations. But I want to rotate from the bottom, and I want to go 45 degrees up. So I'll just say 45. And there you can see that I've got my, my profile now is kind of leaning upwards, and I'm ready to go again. I just select this thing, Alt, click, Control, pull, like that. Yes?
How far back did you move the first one?
It went like approximately 50 feet. I just pulled it back to almost the end of the grid. It wasn't exact. I didn't do an exact number.
You just selected the curve, right?
Yeah.
How'd you do the command again?
With the gumball, you do, let me grab, I'll just grab this one and go the other way. Do Alt, click, Control, and then drag. Hold them all down. Yeah, no, it's crazy weird, but it's easy once you know it, sort of. Alt, click, Control, drag. Yes. I'll try to keep those as simple as possible for you guys. That's the only one that I think takes like 4 steps. Anyway, so so then I'm just going to keep going with this process, right? I'll copy this one back. So copy, go from this to there, and then grab that one, and I can go back into the right view and rotate it. So rotate, go from here to here. And then this one, you don't have to type in 45 degrees. You can just hold shift and it'll lock to the top axis. Any axis that you have it defaulting to. So I'll just click, and now it's straight up again. And what do you guys think I'm going to do with this?
Curve them all together.
Not yet.
Oh, extreme height,
Yeah.
Thought you meant overall.
Yeah. So I just created these 3 general geometries just by, rotating and extruding, essentially, with the gumball. So I am going to pause here before I proceed. Are there any questions right now? All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to get caught up because we're going to need to be here before we move on. So.